The Katherine Jackson versus AEG wrongful death trial could hinge on the testimony of the man serving time for Michael Jackson's death. Dr. Conrad Murray could be a key witness, but only if either side has the courage to call him. KCAL9's Randy Page explains.
There have been more than 12 weeks of testimony so far in the Jackson family versus AEG live civil trial, and the jury has heard from more than 30 witnesses. But one voice which could answer many of the most fundamental questions in this case has not been heard: the voice of Dr. Conrad Murray.
I think it's becoming increasingly difficult for him to hear himself berated and to remain silent.
Conrad Murray's appellate attorney says her client, seen here in his criminal trial, has refused to answer questions in the civil trial by invoking his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. But she says that could change.
I think that he has an important story to tell. It's not a story, it's the truth. I don't see how telling the truth could incriminate him at this point or at any point.
Jackson family attorneys are trying to convince the jury that Conrad Murray was working for AEG and was pressured into making medical decisions that ultimately cost Michael Jackson his life. AEG says the doctor was chosen by and was working for Michael Jackson, that AEG had nothing to do with Conrad Murray's actions. The question that seems to resonate in this trial for both sides: what was in Conrad Murray's mind when he continued to work with Michael Jackson? Was he thinking about pressures from AEG? Was he thinking about his own client? Those are questions that only he can answer.
Right, and that's why I think what he has to say would be very important to this trial.
They want you to convict Dr. Murray for the actions of Michael Jackson.
In his criminal trial, the defense theory was that Michael Jackson self-administered the fatal dose that killed him. Was that simply a defense theory, or is your client saying that's what actually happened?
It's a defense theory, and it's what Dr. Murray is saying happened.
So far, neither side in the civil case has called Conrad Murray as a witness. Wass says both sides, for their own separate reasons, are afraid of what he might have to say. In court today, attorneys for AEG called a top AEG executive to the stand whose testimony was used to question the claim that Michael Jackson's death cost his estate $1 billion in lost earnings. The jury also watched a video deposition from a Miami doctor who testified he treated Michael Jackson in the early 2000s for addiction to Demerol. In downtown Los Angeles, Randy Page, KCAL9 News.
God knows, I have turned the other cheek as often as is humanly permissible. Nevertheless, despite my comely existence, I am constantly assailed with slanderous and disparaging utterances. I have now drawn the line. Please stop. If you don't, let this serve as my final warning to both sides. Don't incite me to testify. Consider this as an imminent nuclear warning. Enough is enough. I have no further tolerance for lies, your deception, nor your insolence. If your calumny persists, none of you would have to guess who is coming to dinner. And that's at the courthouse. It's time to speak the truth, be honest. Tell the world that Michael had severed all relationships with every member of his extended family before he passed, and explain the reason for his action. I bet you won't do that. End. Yeah, well, everybody's asking me about, what I'm going to do with this wrongful death lawsuit. And, I guess there are all these ideas out there, but I can tell you this. I have absolutely no interest whatsoever in the legal battle that exists with this wrongful death lawsuit of Michael Jackson. I just want to be left in peace. It is my prerogative to invoke my Fifth Amendment right at any time that I choose. I too have my own legal battles to contend with. I strongly believe, however, it is to the benefit of both parties that I do not testify in their legal proceeding. If I am compelled to speak, my candor will cause one party or the other to experience the impact of an immediate seismic shock. It would be so stunning, it would be equivalent to an implosion of Leviathan disproportion and resulting in irrecoverable consequences, or a total and complete debacle for one side versus the other. It is best to leave me alone. I pray they would take heed and not include me in this matter. That's basically how I feel. I mean, what do you think?